I'd like to start by recognizing our distinguished guests who are here. Dr. Ang Hak Seng, the Deputy Secretary of MCCY and Commissioner of Charities, who later on will be giving his speech as guest of honor. Thank you, Dr. Ang. And we're also very pleased to have with us Mr. J.Y. Pillay, patron. I think he needs no introduction, but later on, I will have the privilege and honor of saying something about him as well. And the founder of Shared Services for Charity and the previous head of NCSS, Xie Fu Hua, Mr. Xie, thank you very much as well. And also, Ms. Janet Ang for, kindly agreeing to give a keynote address, a short keynote address. Is that what you say? Okay, fine. But with her experience, I think that will prove invaluable as well. And of course, the panelists, it would be remiss of me not to mention them. Mr. Brian Tan, CEO, Center for Fathering, right? Mr. T. Rajasega, the CEO of Hindu Endowment Board, right? And Ms. Chung Wei Han, who is the chair, this is, I don't know whether you should say chairman or chairperson or chairwoman, but she's the chair for AWA. And that panel will be moderated by, my fellow director on the board, Wan Chen Loh. You'll hear a little bit more from them. This year is particularly special for us in that we are celebrating our 10th anniversary. And the theme of our commemoration is making the invisible visible. What do I mean by that? What do we mean by that when we say we want to make the invisible visible? I think it is about bringing good governance and transparency to the forefront. Many a times, in the past, that has always been taken as, we'll do it when we cover everything else when we're free. I think it is time that, if we've come of age, that the industry should bring this to the forefront because good governance and transparency will ensure sustainability of charities or any organization in the long run. Today's topic will address that squarely, and I will not delve on that. You will hear from the experts and people with the experience to share with us. This being the 10th anniversary also, we will have a gala dinner at the end of October. Please do support us if you're able to. We're quite fortunate that the President of Singapore, President Halimah Yacob, has agreed to be our guest of honor. It will take place on the 31st of October at the Conrad Hotel. Finally, as I've mentioned earlier on, for those of you who have arrived early to watch the market opening ceremony as part of SGX's 20th anniversary commemoration, I have expressed deep appreciation to all our supporters, stakeholders, and well-wishers. I think without them, including volunteers from the largest accounting firms in Singapore, we will not be able to offer a subsidized service, for charities in the sector. So it is, with that backdrop that we hope that all of you will, if you haven't already, try us out, please do that. Speak to our colleagues, speak to any one of us during the break or during the lunch. We will be most happy to help. In fact, we are quite happy to do a quick review of your organization, at no charge at all, just to discuss with you, the next steps, possible next steps that you might want to take with regards to governance, transparency, risk management, and of course, PDPA management, right, which is important. As you know, Maurice is quite well trained in that. So I would conclude by saying thank you very much for spending your morning with us. I hope you will find it fruitful, and I hope you will take the opportunity to also share your views with colleagues in the industry. So thank you. I would now like to take the moment to introduce our guest of honor, Dr. Ang Hak Seng, the Deputy Secretary of MCCY and Commissioner of Charities. I think all of you should know him. If you don't already know him, I think you'll be in trouble. He's, of course, our regulator. But I think this particular regulator is, you will find quite different, from the usual regulators that you have in mind, right? He's a man of action. I do recall, if you could allow me to share this, little meeting that we had. Commissioner called up Shared Services for Charities and said, I would like to visit you guys in your office. And then Maurice and some colleagues got a call and said, Commissioner is coming to inspect. I said, okay, keep the floors clean. So we showed up. Commissioner showed up. Right away, bang, when we were seated, he says, I have a proposition for you. And that proposition is about working with shared services on how to further this mission that we had. The mission that we founded on 10 years ago, which still remains relevant today, as I've mentioned earlier on at the opening ceremony. And that mission of ensuring that governance is being embraced, not only talked about and not only given lip service. Dr. Ang, right away, having done his research about all of us at Shared Services, having done his research on what we do, having spoken to our customers, the good and bad things that come with it, that episode itself, is not the only one where Dr. Ang is a man of action. You have read about him in the papers, about his speeches and all that. So I'm particularly grateful that he has agreed. And I know that you don't normally, show up, for charities, especially you're regulating charities. But I unashamedly take that as a great endorsement of the fact that, we are the good guys, right? So without further ado, may I present to you Dr. Ang Hak Seng.